everybody, it's Emily. I'm hanging out along Finch Creek off of the rail trail today, bringing you another Grass River microclass. So last week we talked about something that we don't want in our streams. New Zealand mud snails, which are a relatively new invasive species to Michigan's rivers and streams. So today I thought we'd talk about something that we do want in our rivers and streams up here. Those are our native macroinvertebrates, all those good little bugs that live in our creeks. So I'll introduce you to a few of them, and then we'll talk about why they're so important for stream health. All right, so let's break down that term macroinvertebrate a little more. So macro just meaning you can see it with your naked eye, you don't need a microscope, and invertebrate, of course, just meaning that there's no backbone. And so this comprises a wide variety of different sorts of life forms, everything from snails to aquatic worms to arachnids and aquatic insects. So some of these critters live their entire lives in the stream, like snails, but many of them only spend their juvenile stage in the stream, so either their larval or their nymphal stage in the stream. And this is the case with many of our familiar insects like dragonflies or damselflies or mayflies. They all live in the stream as nymphs, and then they hatch out and become flying adults only after they've gone through that nymphal stage in underwater. So one of my favorite examples of an insect that does this is a caddisfly. And they're cool because when they are in the stream, they actually build their own little house. They build a little case for themselves. It's like a little sleeping bag. And they can either build it with, like tiny bits of pine needles or little bits of leaves or even tiny bits of sand. And it's, a sort of protection for them. And I should say not all caddisflies do this. There are some caddisflies that spin nets instead, but many of them do create these cases. And then on the other hand, we have animals that live in the stream their entire life. So a good example of this are our aquatic isopods. And if they look like roly-polies to you, good, because they are closely related to roly-polies. They just live their entire life in the stream. And then many of our beetles, our aquatic beetles, they often look a lot different in their larval stage, but when they are adults, they look, pretty much like a beetle. And interestingly, in their adult stage, they don't have gills, and so they actually trap air bubbles underneath the hard outer wings and take air bubbles down with them to breathe. And so examples of this are the riffle beetle and also the predaceous diving beetle. All right, so why are macroinvertebrates important? Why do we care? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, they are really important as fish food. They are the major source of food for many of our fish that live in these cold water streams, namely trout. And as we know, of course, there's a whole industry surrounding trout fishing, and fly fishing has even grown to capitalize on mimicking these macroinvertebrates, whether they be in their larval or their adult stage, in order to catch fish. So macroinvertebrates are clearly super important to the fish food web. Second reason they are really important to stream ecology is that they are instrumental in nutrient cycling. So every bit of plant matter, be it leaf litter or coarse woody debris that falls into the stream, much of it is decomposed by these macroinvertebrates. One study out of the Southwest found that 73% of the leaf litter that falls into a stream is decomposed by macroinvertebrates. So really important for transferring that, all of that energy and those nutrients that fall into the stream in the form of leaf litter, transferring that into a source of energy that other animals in the stream, like fish, can use. Third reason is that it turns out they are actually really great indicators of water quality. So different macroinvertebrates have different levels of tolerance to things like pollution or low levels of dissolved oxygen in the water, or even, like temperatures that are warmer than the creek should be. So if you go in and sample a stream based on the type and the number of macroinvertebrates that you find, it tells you something about how healthy that stream is, because some of those more sensitive taxa, things like the case-building caddisflies and stoneflies and mayflies, will only live in streams with high dissolved oxygen, really cold water, and appropriate nutrients and low pollution. So we at Grass River actually have been monitoring the 3 main streams that go through the natural area, Finch Creek, Cold Creek, and Shanty Creek, since 2013. And we go out and sample the streams for macroinvertebrates, and then following this sort of standardized protocol by this statewide organization called MyCore, it actually tells us how healthy our streams are. So if you want to get involved with that, contact me. You can just leave a comment below the video. Next time we'll be doing it is in September. All right, so I hope you learned a lot. I hope you have a new appreciation for all of the little life that lives in our streams, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.